Welcome in to Texans Today, everybody. We've got a full slate on tap. First up, the latest Texans injury news after their Week 1 loss to the Baltimore Ravens. And it's Overreaction Monday, everybody. The latest stories floating around the internet. I'm going to be reacting to all of that today. But first, Jalen Pitre. He suffered a bruised lung during the Ravens game and stayed the night in Baltimore. Precautionary, but good news coming in from Aaron Wilson this morning. Texan safety Jalen Pitre has been released from Maryland Shock Trauma Hospital and can return to Houston with his family after suffering a bruised lung, per a league source, and remaining in Baltimore overnight after getting injured in the Ravens game. So he's been released. He's good to go, but he's questionable for Week 2. I don't know the severity of the injury. I know they kept him overnight, a precautionary measure, but will the Texans be without Jalen Pitre, one of their captains? They were already without Jimmie Ward this past week. Will they be without Jalen Pitre in Week 2 for that divisional matchup? I hope not, but what I do know is I want to send some good vibes out to Jalen Pitre. I know he watches all of my videos here on Texans Today, so if I could get everybody to spam 5 down in the comment section right now to wish Jalen Pitre a speedy recovery. We hope you get recovered very quick. You're back to brand new. Hope everything goes well, Jalen Pitre. Spam 5 down in the comment section right now. And speaking of Jimmie Ward, here's the Texans questionable for Week 2 against the Indianapolis Colts. The Texans injury report. Here you go. George Fant, offensive tackle. He had a shoulder injury that he actually suffered in that Game 1 against the Ravens. Same with Hassan Ridgeway. Suffered that injury during the Ravens game. Don't know if they'll be able to come back for Week 2. John Mechie was out in Week 1. Same with Agumbawale, Blake Cashman, and Jimmie Ward, all with their respective injuries, all still questionable for Week 2. And I will keep y'all updated leading up to kickoff on Sunday against our division rival, those stinking Colts. But if you want to get notified on the latest Texans news and rumors all year long, go down and hit that sub button. We're almost to 5K. We're 87 away from 5K right now. Go down and hit that sub button if you're a true Texans fan and you want to join the fastest growing Texans channel on YouTube. Go down and hit that sub button right now. Now, for Texans Overreaction Monday, grabbed some of the big storylines, some of the big, things I've seen across the Twitterverse on Facebook pages. I mean, a lot of Facebook pages. Stay out of them if you're not strong-willed. But here are the kind of the consensus storylines that I found after the first game. CJ Stroud, he's the worst rookie quarterback. He played the worst this past weekend. Cap. I'm calling overreaction on that. A lot of people are, chirping CJ Stroud. Maybe the Texans should have picked Anthony Richardson. Maybe the Texans should have, passed on a quarterback this year. That's cap. Honestly, for the 3 rookie starting quarterbacks in Week 1, I don't think CJ Stroud really was that far off from Bryce Young or Anthony Richardson. Here are their numbers from the past week. Stroud, 28 of 44, no touchdowns, no interceptions though, and a total of 262 yards accounted for. Bryce Young, he threw 2 picks in his first game with the Carolina Panthers and only accounted for 163 yards. You're telling me that is a better performance than CJ Stroud? And Anthony Richardson, 24 of 37, 1 touchdown, 1 INT, and a total of 263 yards accounted for. He actually also had a rushing touchdown, I believe Anthony Richardson did. But, I mean, when you look at the stats, he's not really that far off, and I'll get more into why Anthony Richardson's numbers are a little misleading later in the week when we go behind enemy lines for the keys to victory. But I just think each of these guys has something to prove. Nobody wowed me to the fact where I'm like, oh my God, like home run pick by that team. CJ Stroud, I think he played well, still has a lot to develop and work on. Bryce Young, maybe the worst out of the 3 quarterbacks. I know he's dealing with a lot in Carolina. And then Anthony Richardson, like I said, numbers a little bit misleading there for the Colts rookie quarterback. But honestly, out of all 3 of these guys, CJ Stroud might have had the best week one. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, though. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So you get hit with the YouTube ad break. Let me know what you think. Who was the best quarterback in week one? AR for Anthony Richardson, BY for Bryce Young, or if you think it's CJ Stroud, yeah, type your CJ7s down in the comments. Next up, DeMeco Ryans is overrated. This guy sucks. Cap, that's an overreaction. DeMeco Ryans, I do not believe is an overrated coach. A lot of people were saying, hey, the 49ers defense didn't miss a beat. They looked great against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and no doubt they looked good. And you know why they look good? Because they have great players on the defense. DeMeco Ryans, I know he did a good job in San Francisco with that defense, but I mean, you look at these numbers from them this past week, really good. And everybody's like, oh, San Francisco absolutely stomped the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I mean, you look at the Texans' defensive numbers, they did pretty well against a dynamic quarterback in Lamar Jackson and, keeping this Ravens offense at bay for most of the game. I know it kind of got out of hand a little bit later in the game, but you still had 2 takeaways, 4 sacks. They only got 4.6 yards per play and 8 for 15 on third down. I mean, it wasn't like the Texans defense was just, getting gashed all day long. I really thought the defense played well, and overall, I loved the fight that I saw from this Texans team. DeMeco Ryans and company really had these boys ready to play. I know the offense was, how do I say this? It had some promise. It had some bright spots, but still a lot to prove from the offense. But overall, I didn't see anybody quit on this team. And you got to love that from a team that had the number 2 overall pick last season. A team that was not good last year, showing some fight early in the year. You got to love that. I'm going to get to my last overreaction in just a moment. But first, show some love to our sponsor for today, BetUS, our sportsbook sponsor here at Chat Sports, and they're giving you the best deal on the internet. If you go to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code CHAT125, they're going to give you a 125% deposit bonus. That means if you put in $100, they're going to give you $125 for free to bet with. Did you hear that? For free to bet with whenever you put in $100 when you go to chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125. And why not bet on the Texans possibly making the playoffs? Plus 650 for them making the playoffs. That means if you risk $10 on this bet, you could win $65 if the Texans end up making the playoffs. Hey, not a bad bet in my opinion. Could be a sneaky wild card team this season. And if you do bet on the Texans, make sure you do it with our sportsbook sponsor, BetUS, chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125. Lastly, on Overreaction Monday, the offensive play calling was questionable. It was what the kids are saying, a little sus. I'm going to say that's real talk. I'm going to say that's a little bit of real talk right here. I don't know what Slowik was going for it early in the first quarter, 4th down in your own territory with a rookie quarterback. I don't know what the thought process was there. I mean, the defense was playing well. Why not punt it away and play a little field position battle? The Texans were 1 for 4 on 4th down against the Ravens. Just, obviously, I'm not going to put it all on Slowik. I know the Texans' offensive line is patchworked. I know everything's new quarterback, new weapons, a lot of moving parts for Slowik in this offense, but you got to be smart. Why go forward on 4th down in your own territory and give them the short field? That really didn't make sense to me. And then also, I feel like Slowik just totally abandoned the run game. I know that the Texans were coming from behind. I know that they were trying to catch up to the Ravens and trying to score some points quick, but with a rookie quarterback, I'm surprised CJ Stroud didn't turn the ball over at all because 44 passes to only 23 rushes. One of my keys to the game was really get the ground game going with Dameon Pierce, and I don't think he got enough touches, in my opinion. I think you got to try and work that run game more and more and more, and it just seems like he abandoned it. And I get it. Like I said earlier, this offensive line is patchwork together. Josh Jones, a tackle last year for the Cardinals. The Texans traded for him, moving into left guard. The rookie 6th-rounder Jarrett Patterson stepping in at center for Juice Scruggs. George Fant got injured in this past game as well. So I know a lot to deal with here for the Texans on the offensive line front, but they just need a better game plan against the Colts, in my opinion. It's a very beatable team. A big game for the season already in week 2. It's a divisional game. Those matter just a little bit more, in my opinion. So you got to come up with a better game plan. I want to see some more rushing attack from Dameon Pierce, some more touches with him, and maybe some more creativity here and there. I don't know. Maybe get C.J. Stroud, get the pocket moving a little bit. I know the offensive line did the best that they could, but you got to come up with a better plan, Bobby Slowik, if you want to beat the Colts in week 2. I believe he will. I believe this coaching staff is turning it around in Houston. I think that they're doing a great job so far. If you believe in this team like I do, if you think the Texans are the real deal, that they can turn it around and start competing pretty soon, maybe not this year, but next year, the year after that, if you think that they have what it takes, go down and spam those H's down in the comment section, because I believe. I know you believe, but I believe. And I'm spamming my H's down in the comment section today. I'll be looking down there. Hey, if you haven't already, go and follow me on Twitter at Jeremy Chuggs. I'm giving you Texans news and rumors all year long, the dankest memes on the internet. So go follow me at Jeremy Chuggs. That's been all for today. Hope everybody is having a great Monday, and go Texans.